All righty, folks. Closing markets right there, Broad and Wall, New York Stock Exchange. Again, that balcony overlooks the trading floor. It used to be a lot of people. Now it's a lot of computers and algorithms running the show for them. Interesting day. I will tell you that all over the board again today, a little bit quieter. Dow Jones was way down. It's like 400 lower earlier. It's going to end just a touch lower, less than 0.2% lower. S&P up 56, decent move up. But the big winner today, NASDAQ, 398 higher, 24,008. Very close to new records. Very close to new records on the S&P as well. Jumping over to the oil market again. Oil goes down, equities go up. Oil was down. It was down 80 cents on the day, but it's down $4 from the high. It was trading $98 at the high, trading $94.95 going out. Brent was up over $106 a barrel. And if you check out the gold market, we are higher on the gold, 4,700. And crypto had been finding its home. Trade up to 79,000 late last night, 77,000 and change. 77.5 in the Bitcoin, Ethereum at 2,300. All right, folks, when the dollar's convertibility into gold ended in 1971, gold was fixed at a price of $35 an ounce. 35, not 350, $35 an ounce in 71. Fast forward to today, the dollar has lost over 85% of its purchasing power. Still a dollar, but it's worth 85% less now. Gold, on the other hand, has increased in value by over 12,000%. That's why central banks around the world are buying gold at record levels. That's why major firms like Vanguard and BlackRock hold significant positions in gold. And that's why I encourage you to consider diversifying your savings, your portfolio with physical gold from Birch Gold Group. But it starts with education. By the way, I use Birch Gold Group. They're great. Birch Gold just announced their Learn and Earn Precious Metals event. This free online event rewards you for learning the basics of investing in precious metals. Sign up to get free silver on your next purchase of gold. Get even larger incentives as you go. The more you learn, the more you can earn, but you must act right now, as the special event only runs through April 30th, another less than a week. So dollar lost its anchor in 1971. You don't have to lose yours. Text the word America to the number 989898 and join Birch Gold's Learn and Earn Precious Metals event by April 30th. Text America to 989898 on your phone. All right, our next guest has a long-standing record of fighting for students and parental rights in Florida. In 2021, she co-founded and is the executive director of Moms for Liberty, a grassroots nonprofit organization that strives to unify, educate, and empower parents to defend their parental rights. Moms for Liberty has over 300 chapters now, 48 states, serving more than 130,000 members. Happy to have Tina Descovich with us. Tina, just give us a victory lap. I mean, be honest, in just a few short years, you guys came out of nowhere and you're blowing the doors off, 130,000 strong. How did that come about?
Oh, goodness. I would probably say, but God, if you only gave me like a one-word answer, because who would have ever thought? We are 5 years old now, and I will tell you, when we launched in January of 21, I wrote a 5-year business plan that said, in 5 years, we will cover the state of Florida with 67 chapters. And so we blew that out of the water year one, and we continue to just have a major impact on education and defending parental rights at all levels of government. We've won 565 school board seats over the last 4 years. We have ushered in over 100 bills in 22 different states from our legislative committees signed into law. We sued the Biden administration and got a national injunction. We're participating in many initiatives in the White House now to shape the future of education. And so we are just blessed as an organization to keep advancing.
Not only did you grow, and because the mission was correct, in 2021 is when Biden and the woke mob, cancel culture woke mob, was telling parents, oh yeah, if you don't like it, we're going to have your children allow them to castrate themselves and gender transformations against your will. I remember all the town halls, the school board meetings. So you saw that opening and you really got into it. But somehow you got the attention of Trump and the folks surrounding Trump. How did that happen?
We invited, well, it really started honestly with Governor DeSantis because we're here in Florida. And, in 21, he was standing and being courageous in many ways when it came to COVID and opening schools and getting masks off kids. And our members were protesting a lot of the same things. And so this alliance was built. And so when we were having our national summit in the summer of 23, that was when the primary really was starting to ramp up. And we had chapters all over the country. And so we invited Governor DeSantis because he spoke the year before here in Florida, and he agreed. And then we said, well, let's invite all the presidential candidates. And all but Biden showed up. And so we really started building relationships with each of the candidates, working with their teams on what they were discussing about policy. As the candidates were touring around the country, vying for the nomination on the Republican side, our chapters were really getting heavily involved. It was kind of funny. We have a single mom chapter leader in Polk County, Iowa, and you know how important Iowa is in a primary. Presidential candidates. I mean, Mike Pence at one point called her cell to chat with her. Like she's a single mom. She delivers the Uber driver in the evening, and struggling. And then she's got presidential candidates calling her, vying for the Moms for Liberty positioning there in Iowa because they became so extraordinarily powerful.
Oh, where the heck are the dads for liberty? I'm just teasing. There may be one. I'm not really sure. But let me ask you this. So it's not only about children's issue. It absolutely has at your core the kids in mind and parental rights and whatnot, but you venture into some other areas, and I'm talking about the Southern Poverty Law Center recently has been indicted by the Justice Department for some pretty shady dealings. Tell us about what you know about, what you think about it, and what you're doing about it.
So we just talked a little bit about that national summit in 2023. So the Southern Poverty Law Center realized the influence that Moms for Liberty was having by June of 23, and they decided they were going to place us on their hate map and declare that we were an anti-government extremist group. When they did that, it just opened a floodgate of hate. The threats that came our way. That national summit with the 5 presidential candidates had thousands of protesters. Philly PD had to show up in riot gear to protect us. The things that started happening, we had International Anonymous. They're called Anonymous. It's the international hacking group, came after us and took down our website and tried to access our data. It was insane what happened to Moms for Liberty in 23. And that just has carried forward to today. Just a few months ago, we learned that the whole state of Massachusetts, their municipal police all throughout the state have been trained. We got a hold of their training manual, and they've been trained that Moms for Liberty is a threat, that we are a hate group listed right next to neo-Nazis and the KKK. So the impact that Southern Poverty Law Center has had on Moms for Liberty it's real, it's substantial, and it has impacted our organization and our members greatly.
So not only do they do that, and they're really vile people doing things like that to Moms for Liberty, but they've also been accused of, I'll keep it this way, I saw Kash Patel and Todd Blanche, the acting Department of Justice head, talking about what they were doing over the years. They were actually funding groups like the KKK, sending them money, sending them donations to other racist entities, and then sweeping in saying, we're going to fight the KKK, we're going to fight this group, these neo-Nazis. And they were supporting the people that they were fighting so that elevate their status, so to speak. Comment on
their
that.
Tactics. Yeah, we were not shocked by that. Like most of America is like, oh my gosh, what? We can't believe this about the wonderful Southern Poverty Law Center. Moms for Liberty knows better. The tactics that they have used against us is exactly what's starting to be exposed and uncovered. And you're absolutely right. It's like the firefighter going in, starting the fire, then coming in and saying, oh, you need us to put out the fire. But they've been lying and deceiving the American public and the media about us for 3 years and many other organizations, as we know. And so we are celebrating a little bit on the inside that justice may be on its way. And so they're not just accused. I mean, 11 indictments have come forward. That's a little bit more than someone just pointing the finger and saying, hey, these are bad guys. This is real, tangible evidence that's starting to come forward. Now,
very quickly, this is the Munchausen syndrome, only not a syndrome. They're actually doing it on purpose. Some people are afflicted with this disease or disorder where you actually exaggerate a sickness or an illness sometimes of your children just so you could say, look, I'm taking care of this. It's sick. It is sick. I have a couple minutes, and I really want to talk about this event coming up, Ellis Island, From Sea to Shining Sea. Tell us, and you're working with Real America's Voice to partner up for a very important 250th anniversary celebration. Tell us what this is all about, and we'll get to where people can join you. Go ahead.
We are so excited. We are just 1 week and 1 day away from our first C2C event. That's to celebrate America's 250th anniversary and Moms for Liberty's 5th anniversary. We reserved all of Ellis Island. We've partnered with Glenn Beck, Tim and David Barton, The Torch, American Journey Experience, Mercury One, Real America's Voice, Patriot Mobile. So many great patriots are going to be with us next Saturday night on Ellis Island. And we hope you'll join us. We only have, I think, 22 tickets left.
Wow.
And it'll be a sold-out event.
Wow.
I'm sure that we are just about to sell out.
Right. We're going to sell out right now. I'll tell you, do this. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to roll the soundbite about a minute or so. Take a look at what this is all about. We're going to come back and we're going to sell those whatever's left. Let's roll it, guys.
This May 2nd, step into history at Ellis Island, where over 12 million immigrants first set foot on the path to the American dream. Experience an unforgettable evening with exclusive access to the museum, rare artifacts, live entertainment, and a powerful 3-course dinner inside one of the most iconic landmarks in the world. Hear from voices like Glenn Beck as we celebrate the heroes, the heritage, and the future of this great nation. As the night builds, fireworks will light up New York Harbor, honoring 250 years of freedom. And if you can't be there, the RAV team will be there on the ground for full minute-by-minute reporting. One nation, one story, one unforgettable night.
What a great event. It's going to be wonderful. Real America's Voice is going to be there. Tina Deskovich, folks, put that QR code. See that QR code right there? Hit that phone. Take your phone. I'll give you a second here. Put your phone, engage your camera on that QR code like you're taking a picture. A box comes around and you press it yellow and you, let's do it. Let's sell out these last 22 tickets or so. It shouldn't be difficult to do because I know this audience believes in what you're doing. Tina Deskovich, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Eric, for having me on. I just want to add that if you don't want to buy a ticket or can't be there, that same QR code, you can sign up for a free watch party pack. We have over 200 people signed up across the country to host their own watch parties and enjoy the evening, thanks to Real America's Voice live streaming it.
That's awesome. Watch parties. That's a lot of fun. Good luck with the event, and we'll be covering it. Tina, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, folks, take a look at this real quick. Just put up that QR. No, let's put up the graphic first. We get 3 million views so far. 3 million views in less than 7 months. We have 14,000 subscribers, and we got 95 to 100,000 watch hours. 100,000 watch hours in just a few months. Please join this group. You go to the QR code we're going to put up right now, just the same way you did. I'll tell you what. First, go to Moms for Liberty, that QR, sign up there. I'm going to take second backseat to them because that's an important event. But if you want to join us, we're growing as well. Love to have you with us. We'll be back 2.5 minutes.
I'd like to say this is the first time.
When it's breaking,
we're moving.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
News doesn't sleep. At Real America's Voice, we don't get to crash or lose focus. That's why we drink Soldier Fuel to stay ahead of the chaos, because we do this for you.
So good.
Soldier Fuel has no sugar, so no crash.
Now that's a game changer. I'm fueled up now. Woo!
Used by the U.S. military every day. Now available to you.
This is huge.
Built by Patriots for Patriots.
Now it's time for you to do the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Order Soldier Fuel, film yourself cracking one open, and taking the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Upload your video at soldierfuel.com/challenge, and you'll be entered to win a free shipment of Soldier Fuel.
That's what I'm talking about.
Your video could also be featured on air. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to soldierfuel.com/challenge to enter. Drink what the RAV hosts drink. Soldier Fuel.
Let's go.
Real America's Voice is growing, and now it's all in one place. Introducing the new and improved RAV app, built for access, community, and choice, not paywalls. Here's the key. RAV is still free to watch. No sign-in, no membership required. Your favorite live streams, breaking coverage, and video on demand are all right there. Free, just like always.
For the War Room Posse, we have to be a force multiplier on this. We have to stick the landing.
In the White House, in the Oval Office, you're crushing it, my friend.
And if you want more, the members section is your backstage pass. Get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and videos, insider moments from the studio and the field, and early access to new content before it goes public. Members can also unlock special experiences like virtual meet and greets, member-only auctions, and select event access, plus commercial-free viewing of certain shows inside the app. It's not just an app, it's a community. Download the RAV app today. Find it in the App Store and Google Play.
My name is Kyle. I'm with Real America's Voice because we can chat with each other, the hosts, even management. We are the RAV family, and we're better together.
Hello, all you Ravagers. I'm Billy Howell, your old buddy Carefree Largo from the chat, and I'm thrilled to be part of the RAV family. When I want to be heard, I use my Real America's Voice.
Prove their values with action, not just talk. They walk the walk, not just talk the talk. These days, a lot of companies say they support our military and first responders, but you know who does, really? Old Glory Bank does. They actually back it up. They've created Old Glory Project, a $100,000 line of duty death benefit for active duty military, first responders, and U.S. Border Patrol. If you serve our country or our communities, it's free with an Old Glory Bank account and direct deposit. Just open your account. By the way, I opened my account in 5 minutes online. Total. Amazing. Easy. Register. Learn more at oldglorybank.com/RAV, oldglorybank.com/RAV. And you know what? These are great people. This is John Rich. This is Larry Elder. This is Mike Ring, who runs the show, and Bill Shine, good friend of mine as well. These are great folks, real conservatives. Again, they walk the walk, not just talk the talk. All right, our next guest is retired Border Patrol agent and now Border Security Advisor for the Federation for American Immigration, FAIR. Always happy to have Art Dequeto with us. Art, you were down at the border.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate it. You know, you're the one that introduces me and says retired Border Patrol agent, 21-year. I hate it when people say former agent. I'm not a former agent. I finished my career. I retired.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And like a Marine, once a border agent, always a border agent, sir.
That's right.
So what did you see at the border? Tell us about the illegal traffic coming across. Were you able to find any?
Oh, look, honestly, the border's more manageable than it's ever been before. I don't want people to think it's not. It is 1,000 times better than it ever was under any administration. But people need to realize there's still people coming across. I spent some time with Cochise County Sheriffs down there. They have a fantastic program with sensors and cameras throughout the entire state of Arizona. So people need to realize we still have gotaways. It's minimal. But I don't want people to think it's completely locked down, nothing's getting coming through. Things are still going through. In addition, while we were down there on the line, looking at the wall, it was different sheriffs and deputies from different parts of the country, politicians, state senators from different states. There was a scout. Eric, there was a scout that drove by there. He had a female with him at the time. They were filming. They wanted to know why we were there. We were in the area where they just recently discovered a tunnel coming in from Nogales into the United States. So the cartels, the smuggling organizations, they're not moonlighting something else. They're still very much involved, and we need to understand that because moving forward, midterms are going to be very important. We need to make sure that we don't take any more steps back. We need to keep moving forward. Now, look, I'm not trying to discredit what the numbers have been posted and what people have been saying. It is very much manageable, especially compared to other administrations. But people need to realize the threat is still there. There's still groups coming across, and there's still gotaways. And the gotaways has been something that has always bothered me.
Yeah, but certainly a major upgrade from the last 4 years of the Biden administration and every other Democrat administration. Art, I don't know this. Where does the alligator Alcatraz detention center stand right now. It was great. I was there the opening day. I was there when Trump came out. He delivered the opening remarks. Kristi Noem, they were all there. Pete, they were all there. And then a judge got involved, a liberal judge got involved in creating an injunction to make him halt the production or continued construction of alligator alligator. Tell us where it stands now.
So that's the problem. All these things get stuck in these courts, in all these litigations. So you have a president that wants to move forward and make sure that we take care of the country and the security and everything else, but you got all these obstacles that constantly get thrown his way, and it stops the flow and the moving forward of a lot of these situations. That's why it's important. That's why I keep on harping on people. Look, we have a great administration. They're doing a great job. There hasn't been any law changes, though, Eric. So this could end overnight. People need to understand that. They need to really get involved. Usually people don't get involved in midterms. It's when it's a presidential race that they go out there. This is not the one to sit out. I'm telling you, we've heard people say, especially during the last election, this is the most important election of your lifetime. It's not true. The most important election of our lifetime is every single election moving forward. And you don't want these things to get stuck in court. There's a lot of individuals that are coming into the United States still, and they realize the sanctuary city policies. They realize what areas to go where they're not going to be bothered. And that's the magnet that these individuals create, and they continue to flow in. So we need to start enforcing even more so, but we need to make sure that we have laws that have consequences on these individuals. We're in a place right now where we've never been.
Well, not only that,
we cannot take any steps back.
We got to make sure they're not voting too. And Save America Act is something that absolutely needs to be passed. It needs to be get through whatever the holdups is. The Republican Senate is holding it up for some wild reason. No matter how you pass it, just pass it. You want to do line by line, pass the damn thing. It's probably a 90-10 issue, to be perfectly honest with you. If liberals aren't on the phone with CNN on a poll, they'll probably even agree with the idea. You just have to show an ID to vote.
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
Eric, it makes sense. How hard is it to say, I need you to show me an idea that you can lawfully do this? I mean, it's not. And you got artists and movies and actors. Look, they're making me buy the ticket to the concert, okay? All I'm asking is get the ID so you can vote in my country. It's that simple.
Art, one of the most hypocritical things in the world is Democrats on the House floor and the Senate floor have to use an ID to vote against the Save America Act, because if they have to do it themselves, but they that's too onerous for minorities in America. When the number they put out there is 80% of America believes you should have an ID to vote. But how important then is this midterm elections, and what happens if they don't get this thing passed before the midterms?
Look, it's important because if we lose any ground that we've gained so far, you're going to see the rest of President Trump's term tied up with ridiculous litigation, tied up with impeachments, because make no doubt about it, they're going to come after and try to impeach him. So then everything that we're trying to move forward, everything that we're trying to push, it's going to be at a standstill. And that standstill is very dangerous because now you're putting all your chips in again at another presidential election. So look, I'm not saying we can't win the next presidential election, but we are winning right now. There's no reason to take steps back. People need to pay attention. Look, we're in a place where we've never been before. Moving forward, we need to continue to take those positive steps. The midterms is where we're gonna show people that we mean business. And look, from a Hispanic that's here legally, illegal is not a race. Plain and simple. I've always said that. And if you are not thinking that illegal aliens are voting in this country and you're not worried about them voting, then why are you worried about showing an ID to prove that you are legally in this country to vote?
Indeed. So, Art, you're kind of in the belly of the beast, so to speak. So Trump removed Kristi Noem. We put in Markwayne Mullin. First of all, how's that going? And second of all, Tom Homan always seemed like the big dog in the most important voice in this whole anti-illegal immigration area. Where does Tom Homan play, and how do they play together with Markwayne Mullin?
Look, I think it's fantastic. I've known Tom Homan for quite some time. He's always been somebody that means business. We have a friendship. So I'm going to be biased because I'm his friend, aside from, somebody that sees him on the outside and sees what he's doing with this country. So I think Tom's fantastic. The new Secretary of Homeland Security, look, I'm going to get in contact with him here soon. He's doing a fantastic job. At the same time, we're in a place now that we weren't at the beginning of the administration. So we got individuals that are they have common sense. They're going to do the right thing moving forward. And look, Tom Homan is an individual that is different than a lot of others because he's been there through different administrations, but he knows how to get the job done. He's not in a position like I've seen in other areas where people that left, they've been there throughout their careers, but they really haven't accomplished those little things, but they somehow they keep on coming back, and we're making those mistakes. With Tom Homan, we haven't made mistakes. Tom Homan is the right person for the job, and I think moving forward, we're going to have to lean on him a lot.
And I think the Trump administration maybe should lean on your expertise, your knowledge, and your experience. Art Del Cueto, really appreciate your time as always, and get you back again real soon. Thank you, Art.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate you.
All right, guys. We'll be back 2.5 minutes.
Hi, I'm Ben Cozy. Isn't traveling a pain in the neck? You're cramped, uncomfortable, and forget about
When it's breaking,
We're moving.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. News doesn't sleep. At Real America's Voice, we don't get to crash or lose focus. That's why we drink Soldier Fuel to stay ahead of the chaos, because we do this for you.
So good.
Soldier Fuel has no sugar, so no crash.
now that's a game changer. I'm fueled up now. Woo!
Used by the U.S. military every day. Now available to you.
This is huge.
Built by Patriots for Patriots.
Now it's time for you to do the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Order Soldier Fuel, film yourself cracking one open, and taking the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Upload your video at soldierfuel.com/challenge, and you'll be entered to win a free shipment of Soldier Fuel.
That's what I'm talking about.
Your video could also be featured on air. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to soldierfuel.com/challenge to enter. Drink with the RAV hosts drink, Soldier Fuel.
Let's go.
Real America's Voice is growing, and now it's all in one place. Introducing the new and improved RAV app, built for access, community, and choice, not paywalls. Here's the key. RAV is still free to watch. No sign-in, no membership required. Your favorite live streams, breaking coverage, and video on demand are all right there. Free, just like always.
For the War Room Posse, we have to be a force multiplier on this. We have to stick the landing.
In the White House, in the Oval Office, you're crushing it, my friend.
And if you want more, the members section is your backstage pass. Get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and videos, insider moments from the studio and the field, and early access to new content before it goes public. Members can also unlock special experiences like virtual meet and greets, member-only auctions, and select event access, plus commercial-free viewing of certain shows inside the app. It's not just an app, it's a community. Download the RAV app today. Find it in the App Store and Google Play.
My name is Kyle. I'm with Real America's Voice because we can chat with each other, the host, even management. We are the RAV family, and we're better together.
Hello, all you Ravagers. I'm Billy Howell, your old buddy Carefree Largo from the chat, and I'm thrilled to be part of the Rav family. When I want to be heard, I use my Real America's Voice.
He's probably one of the most connected people I know. He gets scoops everything. He's got just a pipeline into the administration because everything that comes out is just, if it hasn't happened yet, it's about to happen. Let's bring in a good friend of mine, CEO and editor-in-chief of Just the News, John Solomon. John, around 11:30 p.m. last night, Just the News posted a story entitled The Art of No Deal. Tell us what you mean by that and where are we headed?
Yeah, so it's important to understand that what's going on right now is that the president has a clear proposal to the Iranians, but the Iranians don't have a clear negotiating team. Something you and I talked about a couple of weeks ago. There's a division between the IRGC, which are the most radical of the fanatics in the Iranian regime, the Revolutionary Guard, they would like to fight to death. Trump could deliver that wish if he would. I would like to. And then some of the civilian leadership, which vacillates between a partial to full deal. I do think what has happened in the last 48 hours is that the Iranians have agreed on a potential strategy. They've identified the foreign minister as the sole voice for speaking for all the different factions that are left behind in the sort of splintered Iranian leadership. And that allows for clear negotiations. And the only question will be, will the Iranians accept the president's terms? The Iranians don't have much to leverage. They are the losing, defeated party here. Yeah, you know, they can cause a little mischief here and there in the Hormuz Strait. Probably not as much as we think. But they are the defeated party.
You said the Hormuz Strait. Trump said that the other day, and then he backed it up with, some would call it the Strait of Hormuz, a much more beautiful word. I love that.
Yeah, it is the Strait of Hormuz. I always I shorten it when I'm talking about it in fast hand, but.
Well, you know, you meet with a guy, maybe he picked it up from you. Anyway, I digress.
I don't think I can blame him for that one. That's my own brain on that one. I do think that this is the last round of negotiations. You know, a little while ago, Senator Roger Wicker said that the time for negotiating is over. The Iranians are never going to make a deal. And I think that's a general assessment inside the intelligence community right now. That said, I think the president wants to exhaust every possible option here. And, you know, there are some inklings that Iran wants to move towards a deal. The parliament speaker has been pushed aside. So it's just the foreign minister now, and the foreign minister's job is to go to all the different factions and get consensus and come back. And if there's no consensus, then you know there's no deal, and then we're going to resume bombing Iran. And it's probably going to be pretty ugly for Iran. It's not going to be ugly for us, but the next round of this will be tough. I wouldn't be surprised if we unleash some laser weapons to instill some shock and awe and really focus on eradicating the IRGC and some of the radical leaders that are still left or who have risen up from mid-level positions to lessen the number of people that have to get consensus to. But I do think that if this war resumes, we will have full control of the Strait of Hormuz pretty quickly. And that'll be an objective. And the objective of taking out more and more of the leadership so there's fewer and fewer people to object to a peace deal. I think that's the next piece of it.
So Fox is reporting in the last 2 hours, I believe, that Kushner and Witkoff are going to head to Islamabad over the weekend.
Sunday,
The question is this. It's not J.D. Vance. Do Kushner and Witkoff have signing capability to actually cut the deal?
Well, they have direct access to the president. So, you know, look at the deals they have cut all around the world, right? They've been quite a tandem. I think pulling the vice president back is a statement to the Iranians that it's not worth our time to send our vice president given the charades that you've had. But if you establish at this meeting that you can speak with one voice and that when you say you agree to something, you can back it up, then we might bring the vice president back to close the deal. So, you know, there are all these little nuances in diplomacy. Pulling the vice president isn't because it's a failure. It's because it's not worth his time if you guys are going to play cat and mouse. And quite frankly, if this is another cat and mouse, we're unleashing another round of fury on you. So I do think that there's what's interesting is that the Iranian negotiating team has shrunk. And I think that creates a more quick path to getting answers. And we're going to know pretty quickly who's in charge and whether they agree with what we want. And if they don't want what we want, we're not going to bend to them. We're the winners. We're the ones who just took out all their capabilities, blockaded their blockade. The losing party doesn't get to dictate. I know that's been the past behavior of Iran, not with this president. So I think by Monday or Tuesday, we'll know whether we're resuming the war for a little bit. Or whether we have a deal. And it will be the last round of negotiations.
Now, John, so Abbas Sarachi, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. If I'm not, please correct me. He's the foreign minister who will be meeting with Witkoff and Kushner. You say they've narrowed it down to him, but who does he speak for? Does he speak for little mini Ayatollah with one leg hobbling around or the IRGC?
Listen, I think he speaks for 5 factions, and his job is to go back to the 5 factions. We so decimated their leadership that they're factionalized, and they can't get together because every time they get together, we kill them, right? So it is sort of a pigeon carrier exercise of 5, what I've been told are 5 different factions. You got the IRGC. You've got the Ayatollah, who's very close to the IRGC, but has his own sort of insights, and who's also medically very severely wounded. Then you've got the parliament, and then you've got the leftover original leadership, and then you've got some of these new figures in the foreign ministry that have popped up since all the other leaders were taken out. The foreign minister's job is to get to those 5 people and say, can we speak with one voice? And if not, get your helmets on, because we're about to get our butts whooped again. And I think that is what's going to happen this weekend. Witkoff and Jared Kushner are going to be able to just sit there and say, this is the last thing. The president's not going beyond this. If it's not good enough for you, just tell us and we'll resume bombing. No problem.
All right, let's switch gears a little bit for the last few minutes of the segment. You talk about election vulnerabilities. Explain what you mean, please.
Yeah. So about 3 weeks ago, we got declassified at our request from Tulsi Gabbard, documents showing that China had penetrated, contrary to what we've been told for the last 6 years, multiple states' voter registration databases. This is a major breach. It was kept from us for 6 years. These breaches occurred in 2020. We were told after 2020, most secure election, perfect election. Those statements were not true. Iran and China infiltrated and penetrated, and in some cases hacked into voter registration data, creating a major vulnerability. Last week, we showed that before those penetrations occurred, so the penetrations occurred in the spring of 2020. In January and February of 2020, the intelligence community unanimously assessed that America's election infrastructure was significantly vulnerable and could be compromised by a foreign power. And that's very different than what the Chris Krebs and the Chris Wrays of the world told us. Everything's fine, secure election. That's not what our intelligence agencies actually believe. We were given a sugar pill to hide those very difficult vulnerabilities. The sad part about that is that we went from knowing there were vulnerabilities and that the voter registration database was the most vulnerable to allowing it to be compromised to then keeping it quiet so that nobody could solidify or fortify our election system. I think in the next few weeks we're going to find out that the number of vulnerabilities have only increased since 2020, that the number of penetrations have only increased. I would not be surprised if we learned from Tulsi Gabbard sometime in mid-May that 18 to 20 states' voter election databases were penetrated. That would be a national scandal because it would have been kept from us. And by the way, when it happened in Great Britain in 2024, it was a national scandal. There was a moment of shame, and it led to recrimination and some very significant security improvements. I think this is the moment the president has one more shot to go back to the Senate and say, hey, Senator X and Senator Y, you're currently not voting for the Save America Act, but this is what just happened in your state. You were kept in the dark by Joe Biden on this. We're telling you the truth about what happened. Here's the data. Here's what happened. Now's the time for you to get on board with the Save America Act. I think that there'll be a moment where senators will be confronted with parochial revelations that their state was penetrated by China, and they'll have to make a hard decision. I stay with my party line, or I stay with my Rhino line. I won't support this, or I'm going to do what's in the best interest of my state because my state constituents are very concerned, and we'll go forward. I think the other thing we're going to start to learn is that the government has multiple projects going on, Eric, to identify how many illegal non-citizens and illegal aliens got onto voter rolls. It's not in the thousands. It's going to be north of 100,000 in the numbers I'm hearing. That too should come out in May. Those are two big revelations. These aren't small little things like the left keeps making them out to be. These are major vulnerabilities and major failures of our election system. I think the president has a chance to ride these new disclosures to put new pressure on a lazy Senate that hasn't gotten around to the Save America Act.
John, let me do this very, very quick. We're really tough on time, so we'll kind of rapid fire, because I'm going to ask you, I'm going to put you in a spot to ask you what you know. I'm going to ask you what you think, because the left loves to spread rumors. And the left is spreading rumors that this one's out, this one's out, this one's out. Yeah. Tulsi Gabbard, you think she's safe for the near term?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Okay. All right. How about Kash Patel?
Definitely safe.
Okay. And Howard Lutnick?
To be determined. I do think there's a fondness for the president for him, but I think there's also a question of just what sort of success he's had. And at the end of the day, the president could like you, but he's a bottom line guy, and if he doesn't like the bottom line, sometimes he makes a chance. In Donald Trump's world, making changes isn't a failure. It's just an effort to get improved, right? It's like what you do in the football training camp, right? You may have a good athlete, but maybe there's a guy a little bit better. You move to the better guy before you get to the regular season.
Yeah, the quarterback's not winning games. You bring your backup, see how it goes. Yeah, of course.
That's right. That's how it works.
And that's in business. John, that's why I've been a Trump supporter since 2015. Completely unaltered, never varied, because the business guy in him says, if it's not selling, let's get another one. Let's find someone who can sell.
I agree. I think it's nothing more. It's nothing more profound than that. He looks at things analytically, and he just wants to keep getting better. And most people in politics today will see an iceberg coming, and they'll say, oh, my God, we're going to crash in the iceberg. Donald Trump sees an iceberg, and he's like, who's going to be the captain? If he can't do it, get a new captain. And so it's just it's interesting to watch how politics is so inert, and Donald Trump isn't. That's what drives, I think, most politicians crazy.
That guy right there, John Solomon, runs Just the News, RAV 6 o'clock, and make sure you check out the website as well. John, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
2.5 minutes, folks. We'll be right back.
Here at Allegiance, we feel like American flags should be made in America.
When it's breaking,
we're moving.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. News doesn't sleep. At Real America's Voice, we don't get to crash or lose focus. That's why we drink Soldier Fuel to stay ahead of the chaos, because we do this for you.
So good.
Soldier Fuel has no sugar, so no crash.
Now that's a game changer. I'm fueled up now. Woo!
Used by the U.S. military every day. Now available to you.
This is huge.
Built by Patriots for Patriots.
Now it's time for you to do the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Order Soldier Fuel, film yourself cracking one open, and taking the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Upload your video at soldierfuel.com/challenge, and you'll be entered to win a free shipment of Soldier Fuel.
That's what I'm talking about.
Your video could also be featured on air. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to soldierfuel.com/challenge to enter. Drink what the RAV hosts drink. Soldier Fuel.
Let's go.
Real America's Voice is growing, and now it's all in one place. Introducing the new and improved RAV app, built for access, community, and choice, not paywalls. Here's the key. RAV is still free to watch. No sign-in, no membership required. Your favorite live streams, breaking coverage, and video on demand are all right there. Free, just like always.
For the War Room Posse, we have to be a force multiplier on this. We have to stick the landing.
In the White House, in the Oval Office, you're crushing it, my friend.
And if you want more, the members section is your backstage pass. Get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and videos, insider moments from the studio and the field, and early access to new content before it goes public. Members can also unlock special experiences like virtual meet and greets, member-only auctions, and select event access, plus commercial-free viewing of certain shows inside the app. It's not just an app, it's a community. Download the RAV app today. Find it in the App Store and Google Play.
My name is Kyle. I'm with Real America's Voice because we can chat with each other, the host, even management. We are the RAV family, and we're better together.
Hello, all you Ravagers. I'm Billy Howell, your old buddy Carefree Largo from the chat, and I'm thrilled to be part of the RAV family. When I want to be heard, I use my Real America's Voice.
He's had some of the who's of Democrat losers on his show. Even Jake Tapper made an appearance this week, but Kimmel having Elmer Fraud, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, on his show to defend what went down in Minneapolis, pretty low, but still not as low as having Eric Swalwell announce he's running for governor of California on your own show.
In all this is these multiple cases of benefits fraud that were happening. Now, I want to ask you, did it take an extraordinary long time for you to know that was happening?
No.
Is that just something that has been spread?
It happens in other states. We were going back to many of these people were prosecuted in 2021. He used it as an excuse because it was a perfect thing to do to say there was fraud. Imagine that. Coming from this guy, he would know fraud where it was at.
Yeah. So, my goodness, Tampon Tim, $19 billion of fraud. Where does it happen other than Minneapolis, Tim? Under your watch, you can't gaslight that $19 billion away. Tampon Tim didn't stop at defending that fraud in his state. He also completely misses the point about what went down in the state: fraud, crime, and a love for Sharia law, apparently. But most of all, he makes sure to leave out the fact that he and his fellow comrades condone violence against ICE agents.
And what a terrible message it sends to the ICE force. It's almost as if you can do anything you want and nothing's going to happen.
Well, that's what they were told, and that's what they were hearing. I mean, the minute after it happened, DHS Secretary Noem was, you saw it with your own eyes, calling the folks terrorists, saying you could do whatever, and then they whisk them out of there and nothing happened. This is a very dangerous situation where the federal government literally weaponized against citizens, and nothing would happen. And I said this whole time, where are the don't tread on me people? Because we were sure the hell getting tread on in Minnesota. And
no, you're disrupting lawful officers upholding the law, you moron. Meanwhile, on the other crappy late night show, the parade of Democrats continue to get that blue carpet treatment, maybe even a red carpet treatment, but we said blue there for a reason, from Colbert. This time, Mayor Pete joins so Colbert can ask him if he's running in 2028. This was totally set up.
Does it appeal to you at all? I mean, look, obviously I ran for that office once. Yep. So what I'd say now, obviously I'm a ways away from being able to make a decision like that, make news like that. But it is a decision you need to make. Your words, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I mean, the thing is, either way, I know what to do with myself right now, which is to make myself useful to candidates and causes that I believe in.
I told you. He's running. I told you a year ago he's going to run. I told you when Biden was finishing his disastrous term, Pete Buttigieg is going to want to run. But he may have screwed himself up with that transportation secretary. Those screw-ups from air traffic control to wearing the boots in the snow. I'll never forget that one. How's this for a Friday? Stretch Xavier Becerra actually peddling the ridiculous lie that somehow Joe Biden rolling out the red carpet for millions of illegal invaders was somehow, wait for it, Trump's fault.
We could have addressed this much faster. I ended up having to deal with the situation with the number of kids that were unaccompanied by an adult who crossed over the border. And we had to manage a situation where we inherited from the Trump administration a dismantled system to care for these kids.
Yeah. We talk about gaslighting. They're complete morons on the left. Javier Becerra, I think, isn't he running for governor of California as well? All right, here we go again, over and over. Again, Democrats making it clear that should they regain control of the House, what are they going to do first? Well, this is a hard one to figure out. Prosecute and impeach President Trump, because that worked out so well for them the last time around.
I can't disagree with the commission. I believe those are the path to success in getting control of Donald Trump. We need to get things ready. We need to pull people in front of these commissions and the parties, and we need to be able to get things ready for in 2028 when we take control of the White House, that we can just hand this stuff over to the DOJ and the prosecutors can take it and run from there.
Elections have consequences. That's why everyone who's calling for the blue wave, we Republicans got to get out and vote. Make sure they don't get the Senate, because as of recently, most polling shows the Senate is up in the air right now. Most polling shows the House is going to go blue. We need, and also, by the way, that October surprise everyone's talking about, Sam Alito on the High Court, Supreme Court, if he steps down in October, it'll be major league wind in the sails of the Republican Party, because people will realize to get that guy confirmed, the replacement, you're going to need the Senate. So Sam Alito's been great, but it would be a great time for him to retire too. Remember how screwed up they got when Ruth Bader Ginsburg decided to stay on through Biden's term and passed away a year into Obama's term, passed away a year into Trump's term. Remember that? That was an error on their part. Come on, Sam Alito, great man, great conservative Supreme Court justice. Now, do the right thing. Step down before November. Leftist lunatic Jennifer Wells certainly hasn't held back in her liberal lunacy when coming down on the President Trump, but apparently everyone is fair game, even some so-called leaders of the Democrat Party.
And basically, you have a bunch of dirty cops in the Oval Office right now, and the entire executive branch is a crime syndicate. And Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries should be building the biggest opposition to this. And oftentimes they appear more like fascist collaborators than they do a full-blown opposition to it. So there's no attaboy from me to Chuck Schumer.
Yep. Fascism lives, resides, and made a home for itself on the left, not the right. This No Kings protest is BS. Look at the mirror, Democrats, liberals. All right, folks, take a look at this. This is our graphic showing some amazing numbers for The Edge. 3 million views, less than 7 months. 14,000 subscribers, less than 7 months. And this one, nearly 100, right at 100,000 watch hours, not watch minutes, 100,000 watch hours. Thank you so much for watching The Edge, coming out, watching The Edge. Love you to subscribe. Hit your phone right there, the camera, aim it to there. Press, before you press, you don't even have to take a picture. Once you just aim it on there, the little yellow box comes on, press the line under it, you will subscribe. And if not, just go to youtube.com/@EricBolling and The Edge. Subscribe. We want you part of this growing group. Thank you very much for that. All right, let's take a listen to this. Ben, are you going to play this?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Real America's Music is introducing a new country voice taking the industry by storm. Rachel Holt, a proud patriot who loves God and country. She's bringing something real back to country music. Her new single, Like the Sun, is out now, and we're pushing it straight up the charts. Scan the QR code and download now. Let's show the industry you don't have to sell out to succeed.
Stream Like the Sun now and make it your summer anthem. Turn it up, get outside, and let Like the Sun take over your summer.
I'd like to say this is the first time.
When it's breaking,
We're moving.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
News doesn't sleep. At Real America's Voice, we don't get to crash or lose focus. That's why we drink Soldier Fuel to stay ahead of the chaos, because we do this for you.
So good.
Soldier Fuel has no sugar, so no crash.
Now that's a game changer. I'm fueled up now. Woo!
Used by the U.S. military every day. Now available to you.
This is huge.
Built by Patriots for Patriots.
Now it's time for you to do the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Order Soldier Fuel, film yourself cracking one open, and taking the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Upload your video at soldierfuel.com/challenge, and you'll be entered to win a free shipment of Soldier Fuel.
That's what I'm talking about.
Your video could also be featured on air. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to soldierfuel.com/challenge to enter. Drink with the RAV hosts drink, Soldier Fuel.
Let's go.
Real America's Voice is growing, and now it's all in one place. Introducing the new and improved RAV app, built for access, community, and choice, not paywalls. Here's the key. RAV is still free to watch. No sign-in, no membership required. Your favorite live streams, breaking coverage, and video on demand are all right there. Free, just like always.
For the War Room Posse, we have to be a force multiplier on this. We have to stick the landing.
In the White House, in the Oval Office, you're crushing it, my friend.
And if you want more, the members section is your backstage pass. Get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and videos, insider moments from the studio and the field, and early access to new content before it goes public. Members can also unlock special experiences like virtual meet and greets, member-only auctions, and select event access, plus commercial-free viewing of certain shows inside the app. It's not just an app, it's a community. Download the RAV app today. Find it in the App Store and Google Play.
My name is Kyle. I'm with Real America's Voice because we can chat with each other, the host, even management. We are the RAV family, and we're better together.
Hello, all you Ravagers. I'm Billy Howell, your old buddy Carefree Largo from the chat, and I'm thrilled to be part of the Rav family. When I want to be heard, I use my Real America's Voice.
On the horn, on the Stratocaster, that's actually a guitar. What's it called? TriCaster, right?
TriCaster,
There's Ben.
I wish it was a Stratocaster.
And I think it's Colin and Drew, the brothers. One's a nagger, one's not. I think they're both accusing. Yeah, like he's the nagger. And is that queso? Is that cheese in there too?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. At the very end.
Folks, those guys are of the best I've worked with. And I've worked at Fox. I've worked at the Blaze, Sinclair, and forget Newsmax. They're not even like in the same world as these guys. Ben, let's do a couple voicemails.
Yes, sir. We have a viewer who wants action in the Iran war.
Be well. God bless, Eric. Dude, this Dave from Arlington, Washington. I'm just sitting here watching again. This Straits of Hormuz thing. They are ropey doping us. This thing was supposed to be over a couple weeks ago. And here we are, this and that, tit for tat, with Iran opening the strait, closing the strait. Oh, they're helping us. Oh, I'm going to blow them I'm going to take them off the face of the earth, wipe them out forever. That was like 2 weeks ago now that he was going to decimate them. Okay, here we are. Right? And he's saying, I got to do what should have been done 47 years ago. Within 47 years, this should have been done. But here we are, and he's going, oh, well, I'm going to do it if you don't do this. He's like, my dad's tougher than your dad, and I got your Tonka truck. I got your Tonka truck hostage. Oh, my God, my AFX cars. Oh, my God, just do it. If it's supposed to be done, then do it. Don't say it should have been done or make a deal to not do it. If it's supposed to be done, do it already. Just do it. Whatever you're going to do, because we ain't done it yet, if we're still got to do it. Bye.
Just Nike, just do it. So, sorry, so look at it this way. I think I was on your page for a long time, and I do believe the blockade is working. It's going to drain Iranian their coffers. They're going to run out of money. The people will finally say enough is enough, I believe. So I'm not in a rush to do it anymore because the blockade seems to be working. Also, the fringe benefit of the blockade is that China can't get oil. China's draining their oil resources. Hold that thought for 1 second, because when they can't get oil and energy is difficult, it's not difficult for us. We have plenty. We're actually offering some of our allies to come get some of our oil. We have plenty. We don't use the Strait of Hormuz that much. So the AI race is one of the most important things, I believe, for the next 100 years. Trump wants to win the AI race. Who's the biggest competitors? Who's second to us right now in a close second? China, right? So China doesn't get the energy. AI is a massive drain on energy. They can't ramp up their AI data centers and such. They can't ramp up without energy. We have it. I say hold the thought, hold this blockade for a while. If nothing else, just have China choke on lack of energy. So I love the strategy. So I would disagree. And I'll just throw one more thing at you. Do what you want to do means boots on the ground, no question. You can't do it from the air. It would have to include. You can do the Navy, you can do the air, but you need boots on the ground to clear out some of those factions. I would submit that most of the American people aren't ready for boots on the ground. So Trump is also very smart because he can't get reelected, but other people can. We can still feasibly lose the House, feasibly even lose the Senate if he does something very unpopular, like putting boots on the ground. I'm not saying unpopular with liberals or woke or soy boys. It's unpopular with Republicans too. So keep that thought, but just take a breather. Let them negotiate slow, because every minute you negotiate is a minute that China's blowing through their own energy and starving their own economy. Ben, you got another one?
We do. We have a viewer who wants help learning how to balance having friends from different political parties. Bit of a mouthful.
Hello, Mr. Bolling. This is Mr. Un-PC. What I don't understand, it's Rap TV, Real America's Voice. I only watch y'all, okay? That's why I call you. That you have Democrat friends. I don't get it. I don't associate with any Democrats. They want me in their little circle. I don't like filth, sewage. Same with some Republicans. But I don't understand you all. I have Democratic friends. You know what? Here's how you disagree. Don't associate with them. Take care. Keep on doing what you're doing. Put me on the air. You see America go on fire.
What was that last? What was that? A little lion's roar? What was that? So let me explain this. I agree that it's difficult to have Democrat friends, but I've had a lot of them. I basically spent 30 years in New York, and everyone's a Democrat in New York, just about. So a lot of my friends are Democrats, but I spend a lot of time talking to them, and I will tell you unequivocally, I'll tell you, you know who you're talking, Laura and Jay and Susan and Frank and others who are Democrats in Trump 1.0. They were all about Hillary, and they really, we got into these really serious discussions about whether it should be Trump or not. They're both of those couples, anecdotally, but many, many more of my friends the same way, have come around to becoming Trump fans because, you know, the taxes are lower. They don't want illegals. They don't want their kids competing with illegals in the schools. Turns out, once you get over the Trump derangement syndrome, which eventually it works its way through, his policies are much better than Democrat policies. So spread the word, have Democrat friends, show them how good it is on this side. I bet you get a few friends to jump ship and come on over there, or at least go to the middle, independent, which is also a win for us. All right, folks, that's it. Have a great weekend. We'll see you again Monday. Stephen K. Bannon